Okay, let me join. Let me invite you. Let's open this. Rosie, let me add you. You can cancel, and then now I'll just add you. This is doing this to us. Okay, I have invited. Yes, finally.
Oh, this is another device. I'm trying to
So
join and
scared.
send a request and it's not working at all. I am so
Oh, okay.
sorry. Hi, everyone.
Okay. At least you're here, finally.
Yes.
How are
Can you
you,
hear me
Rosie?
well? Everything's fine?
Yeah, everything is fine on my side.
Oh, that works.
And then on your side?
Yes, everything is fine. Trying to hold
Oh,
it down. I
okay.
hope
Thank
my
you so
voice
much.
sounds well. I woke up a bit earlier than usual. But
Thank you. Nobody does that for anybody. So, no.
I'm really excited to be here. Thank you so much for having me. This is
Okay, you're welcome. So how are you, Ruthie? I'm just trying to make us feel comfortable because I'm really scared. And when I'm
You
scared,
don't
I,
have to be scared. You are so good at this.
are you sure?
Yes, girl, come on.
Okay, if that's the case, then we're doing this. So, should I introduce you or you introduce yourself?
Feel free. This is your platform. Feel free.
Yeah, platform. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, just kidding. Okay, so guys, this is Rosie Mamboleo. Did I pronounce that okay? Okay, she's
Mamboleo,
originally
yeah.
okay, she's originally from Congo, the Republic of Congo, and then she moved in to South Africa. Okay, I don't know the years. And that's where we met, right? We met at Miss Gauteng Exclusive 2018, and we both made the top 10. Yay to us.
Yeah.
We really worked hard and we deserved it. And then now she's in the United States. She lives in Chicago. She is Miss World America Eleanor 2020. She's a founder of Elpida, right?
Elpida.
Yes. So please tell us more about your organization. What does it do with?
All right. So my organization is called Elpida. Elpida is a Greek word, so it means a hope. So the whole reason why I started that was based on my own background and my own story. I think so many times when we look for why are we called in this world, we tend to kind of forget the struggles we've been through. Whereas sometimes in that struggle and you overcoming that struggle, that is your purpose. So my story has always been my struggle with mental health and depression to the point where I attempted suicide. And so through that story, I decided to come up with this organization called Hope so that I can be able to spread hope. I think so many youth these days, whenever we are youth in general, there's a certain point in your life where you just feel don't seem to be working or don't seem to be making sense at all, and you want it to. That's where this comes from, and this originates from trying to spread hope. And so we try to spread hope by building, by educating, by empowering, by training, and by healing.
Hmm. Like I'm so touched, I'm so moved. I don't know why. I'm so touched, I'm so moved, I'm so emotional. Because you're just a generous person in general. Like when we were together in at Miss Gauteng Exclusive, you were so kind. you were the one who insisted that we do bring and share. I remember everyone was bringing you brought chocolate, others brought what is this cake. It was so much fun and it was your idea. And I remember how you used to push people to, especially the ladies who lived in Pretoria, Bokia and uh Warabile. You guys used to do a lot of charity work, and you would insist that, you know, let's do this, let's do that, let's do this. Like you've always been hands on things, and like sharing your story, opening up. Whew. Like I didn't expect you to, like I knew you opened up, but I didn't expect you to open up like this. And I feel like it's so important for us to open up, you know. I feel like it's important to always share our stories with everyone around us, you know, because people look at you and they say, okay, she's Miss World America, she's perfect, she has it all under control, you know. But when you show them that no, I'm imperfect as well, that's where they get the inspiration from, you know, and be like, okay, she's not perfect, she's still like me, I can relate to her, you know. So you're such an amazing person, I want to lie, and I'm glad that you used your story to make something beautiful and change people's lives, you know. And while we're at that, you are building a school for your community in Congo. Please tell us about that as well.
So one of the big letters that we try and the big missions that we try to do is to educate and to empower. And for me, education has always been a very important aspect of my life, just because I've seen the big doors that education has opened for me. I've seen the difference that teachers have had in my life, the difference that just reading a book and going into a different world has had in my life. And so seeing young children having a dream but not knowing how to access that dream kind of puts a damp on my heart. Also, when we look at it in all aspects, is that sometimes children don't see anything else in front of them. So in the community where we're building a school, it's called Buma. And when we went there, I remember it took us so long. It was scorching hot, and you know, the sands, and it felt like a desert. I've never been in a desert, but I remember that day I was like, this has to be a desert, because it was really, really bad. And when you get there, all you see is children just roaming aimlessly, going to the stream, just playing around, because nobody knows, okay, should I go to school? Shouldn't I go to school? Or you see other children coming from the farm with their parents. Other children were coming from the forest with their parents, going to look for sticks to sell. And so that tells you that sometimes parents want to send their kids to school and they don't have a choice but to make their children work with them because they need to earn an ends meet. So my project is not just to build a school. The whole project is to try and bring community development and financial stability in a community. Because once people are poor, we have people who prey on that poverty, who prey on that vulnerability. And in turn, you see that parents sometimes have no other choice but to let their kids go and work for other people and everything. So we've been trying to build that school. It won't just be a school, but we're also going to have a center, because some of our children came back after the pandemic pregnant from rape that occurred in the community. So we're also looking to build a center where we can accommodate those young girls instead of having them excluded from the community. And we've been working with partners as well to see how we can bring training to the parents, financial literacy training, how to budget, how do you save, how do you pay your children's school fees and still have enough for the home. And in turn, after that training, help them financially by either starting a business. If they have a business, pour more into that business and make sure that we have an agent who keeps following up with them to make sure that they keep on the right path. So it's not just the school. We're trying to transform the whole mindset. We're trying to transform the whole lives so that when children look around and they say, oh, hey, you know what? I have a school. And in my school, we go to trips. We go to see bakers in a bakery. You go to an airport and see that you can become a pilot. Because when you see something and when you walk into a space, it makes you believe that it's achievable. So we want to change that for them to know that there is more than what you see here. There's bigger possibilities for you. And we are here to help you achieve those big possibilities.
Yeah. Like I just want to add on that. I feel like you've said a lot, and I'm just I'm touched, and I know everybody in here is touched. I can see people commenting powerhouse, whatever, whatever. But when you talk about community development, I feel like that alone is also important, you know. And I can tell education, and you also mentioned that, you know, kids don't know what they have to do. You know, others go and do labor work, and I don't think for children that is a good, like that is a good thing to go through, you know.
Yes.
And I'm doing education, and I also understand the power of good foundation, you know, and
Mm-hmm.
how it builds like somebody, and how the environment can change your life going forward. You understand? So what you are doing is just, it's so touching. I don't want to lie. And I just hope that God blesses your heart, Rosie, you and your team. And before we leave this live, just please leave the details of your link so that if people want to donate, they can donate. You know, it can be anything. And adding to that as well, I'm somebody who believes that we have to give what we have, you know. And I feel like we constantly have to ask ourselves, what is it that I have? You know, is it love? Is it money? Is it information? What is it that I have? And answer yourself. And then whatever that you have, go help somebody with it. You know, I feel like all of us have it in us to help somebody with whatever that we have. And I also feel like other people have it in them to help us with something
Yeah.
as well. I just hope that your school just, you know, like, cause I saw the video and I saw how the structure of the school, it was so
Mm-hmm.
bad. But are you
Yeah.
guys like moving forward?
So it's been a bit challenging getting sponsors just because I think when you say building a school, people see something big. And so right
Mm,
now we're just trying to say, hey, if you have $20, you have $10, whatever you have can help. And that's where our shirts come in. We've been selling shirts. The shirts are there to help promote mental
mm,
illness and to break that stigma that surrounds mental illness. But all the funds from the shirt go to the school building project. So if you don't want to donate, buy a shirt. You know, sometimes I
that's
think
it.
people find it hard to just give the money. So I'm like, okay, let me make it easy for you. Give us the money. We give you something in return.
Yeah.
We give you value for that money. So we've been also trying to sell those shirts to see, okay, fine. If you buy a shirt, then you're definitely helping us. So we need 2,000 people to actually buy a shirt for
Mm,
us to get in that we need to build that school. And right now, I think we have 1,997 to go before we get our goal. So we're just pushing. It's been very slow,
mm,
but we're just persevering. We've been writing grants as well. We've been trying to get in touch with certain organizations and people. So whenever doors open, we're ready to walk into them. But being slow and not seeing the progress sometimes can hit on you because it's like I'm doing everything right. What's wrong? What else are we
what's wrong?
missing?
Yeah.
Um,
Like it's
but
taking forever.
yes, right.
Mm,
At a certain
yeah.
point, I'm looking for error. Maybe there's something wrong somewhere. But we're just persevering. We're gonna work hard and we're gonna keep at it.
Mm,
Um, and I
mm.
think just to add into that is that this work requires love. If you don't have love, definitely you would stop before you even get to the end. Because it's a lot of work. So I've just been asking God to give us that love, to give us that passion and that desire to remember why we started this, and we'll get there.
I don't even know what to say. I'm just like, whoa, what, whoa, what? How can a person have so much love, you know, to give? And I feel like it's also important, you know, to have so much love within yourself so that you're
Mm,
able to share it with the world. Because when you serve with an empty heart or an empty whatever, you are not able to, you know, reach out. You feel
mhm.
robbed, give because you give what you don't have. But what
Yeah,
you are doing is really amazing, Rosie, and I feel like you are going on the right track. As much as it takes forever, nobody said it's gonna be easy. But for the
right.
fact that you are volunteering, you are traveling from America to the Republic of Congo, you know, and you know you're not selfless. You're not selfish. You are selfless because you are on the other side of the country, but you also go, you know, go back to where you come from and just serve your community. You don't say, okay, now I'm in the States, now I'm in Chicago, now I'm in a better place, you know, now I have resources, now I have an education. Oh, by the way, let me tell people you are studying lawyers, right? Yes, Rose is going to become a lawyer, and I feel like that's going to be beneficial in terms of the community work that you do in
Yeah.
education as well. So big ups on that, and I hope God blesses your heart. But what I'm trying to say is you don't only focus on yourself. You use the resources that you have for yourself, and then you take it back to Congo, giving back to your community. Because I feel like other people, they come from nothing, right? They come from disadvantaged communities, they have this life story that is just touching, and they don't have all the resources. Either the others come from abuse, others come from a lot of things, but they build themselves. They build themselves and they work extremely hard. And when they get there, they don't find the reason to go back to their community, and represent their community and just serve their community. And I feel like you doing that, it's so inspirational. And I am gonna take that inspiration from you and apply
Thank
it in my life. And I'll also hope that everybody that is watching this live is gonna take that and apply it in their community as well. So let's
you.
move forward. Let's talk about pageants. Let's talk about pageants, So I remember you telling me that, Pearl, I want to do this pageant. It's Miss World America, and I know how stereotyped pageants are,
Mm.
but you were like, no, I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna fight for this, because we all know that when we say pageant, people think light skinned, people think skinny, people think tall, but we don't look like that, we are the
Yeah.
opposite of it. But you were so dedicated, and you were like, Pearl, I want to do this. I'm like, you know what, Rosie, go for it. Because I know your heart. I know your heart. I know what you stand for. And you actually went for it, and you did so much. You were able to interview. Okay, we are celebrating women, but I'm just gonna mention him because he's big. Obviously you're able to go live with Carmichael, right, the
Yeah.
YouTuber entrepreneur. Yes, you were like, you had opportunities, and you broke stereotypes in terms of pageants. So how important it is for us to break the stereotypes as women, how we should look not only in pageant world but in the world, like
Mhm.
for how important it is for us to represent it, and how important it is for us to break the stereotypes.
Mhm. Oh, this question is quite broad. I love it. Thank you. But I would
Mhm.
say that the first thing that the first importance is that we are, whether we like it or not, what we see. And so
Yes.
that is one of the big reasons why I believe that we need such representation, not just in the
Mm.
pageant world, in fashion, in TVs and music videos and all. We are what you see. The more a girl sees a person who reflects her, who looks like her, who probably speaks like her, or has maybe the same hair as her, or I don't know, the same hips, the same shape, the more she sees that, the more she knows it's normal. While growing
Yes.
up, for me, what we had was, skinny girls. And you look at a magazine and it's full of these skinny girls. And you look
Mm.
at TV, you watch TV, you watch movies. You don't see girls who look like you taking lead roles, being
Mm.
powerful, and all of that. So that starts to tell you that, hey, when a guy is probably attracted to somebody, or when society says beautiful, they mean this image. And so the
Yes.
more you pump that into people, what happens to everybody else who does not fit into that? What you're trying to tell them is that, hey, all your life try to fit into that, or
Mm.
you're nothing in a way. The other thing I would say is that it's very important to talk about this and to try to break these stigmas, because we are made the way we are for a reason. There is no mistake in the world. And
Mhm.
once you realize that you are made to reflect the light of God. God uses your body. He calls it a temple. He loves it. He took time, precious time. He didn't just wake up one day and say, you know what, today I'm bored. Let's make Pearl. No, he said, I want to
Yeah.
make this beautiful daughter. I want to put in her
Mm.
my treasure. I want to put my
Mm.
wisdom in her. And he also breathed himself into you. That shows
True.
you that the way you are, you were meant to be like that. And the moment you begin to understand, I am not a mistake, this body is supposed to do something the way it is, you begin to love yourself like this. You are meant to serve a purpose with the body you have, with the voice you have, with the hair you have, with the eyes you have. I mean, in the Bible, it says that God knows every strand of a hair. That's how precious you are. Don't let anybody make you feel like I am not precious enough or I am not worthy enough, because you are. And so once you begin to work on your identity and your self-esteem, that helps you in every aspect of your life, because you begin to feel confident. You find that purpose in life and you go for it. Because otherwise, all you're trying to do is be, in a puzzle, there's those corner pieces, and then there's those pieces that go in the middle. And you'd find maybe God made you that corner piece, and you're this big chunk corner piece trying to fit in the middle. And you won't fit. All you're doing is hurting yourself and making other people around you uncomfortable. You're not serving your purpose. But if you can say, you know what, I am this big chunk piece and I'm meant to be on the side. I'm going to love myself for all these curves that it has. I'm going to love myself for all the great hugeness and the width that it has. And I'm going to make sure that I hold my side down. That when this whole big puzzle needs me, they'll find me there. They'll find me doing my purpose. They'll find me being the best big chunk puzzle I can. That's all you have to do. So I think that's why, even if we don't go in a place and talk and say, I'm here, I'm curvy, I'm representing, but just your presence there brings value.
It's important. Yeah. You know what? I just want to add on that. I'm just going to leave a quote on that, whatever that you said. And thank you so much for saying that. I'm sure all of us are inspired by what you have just said. Just own who you are. Because we are trying to look alike, We are all trying to have this sharp nose. We're all trying to have this hair. We are all trying to do contours. We're all trying to be light skinned. We are all trying to look the same. And we are not built like we are not meant to be the same. And I think people don't understand that. So the code goes like this: you are not the problem, society is. And I feel like we should constantly remind ourselves that we are not the problem, society is. And also saying things like, what about the type that, other people don't see as beautiful? What about us? Does it mean we don't matter anymore? What should we do now? Should we go an extra mile to look like other people? And it doesn't work like that. So owning who you are is very important. And I'm glad that you are owning that. And I'm glad that you are trying to change that in the pageant world. You are doing amazing, and I hope you continue doing that. And I also hope that we all flourish. We all flourish as we are, as we're all beautiful. So okay, let's move on, because it's gonna be long. Because I have like 5 more questions that I need to ask. So okay, let me start with this one. So you are from Congo, and then you came to South Africa, and then now you're in the United States. So in terms of how women are treated, is it the same thing, or have you seen changes, or have you seen how, okay, in Congo, this is how women are treated, in South Africa, this is how women are treated, and then in United States, this is how women are treated, or is it like women are women, wherever we go?
I would go with the last one, to say that women are women wherever we go. But I think that the country in which you are does play a big difference or an impact on how women are treated, depending on the development. When you go to Congo, we are not a developed country, we are developing. And so that means that certain ways in which I would say the economy or people are viewed is different. When you go to South Africa, we are a developed country, one of the big developed countries in Africa. And so there as well, you see that difference. And when you come to the United States as well, such a big powerhouse, you also see that difference because of that development that the country has. So with that, I would say that one thing that kind of always stands out for me, I guess, in all these countries when I'm just thinking of women, is that I think it has to play with what the woman is standing for these days. We are seeing women evolve. We are seeing women take up space that they probably never would have in so many years back. And so what you see now is men who start to feel inferior or who feel a bit powerless, and in turn trying to hold on and grab onto that power. You see that hate towards women. When we look in South Africa, you see that brutal hate towards women, where we're seeing so many women, we're losing so many girls at the hands of our very own men. the men who are supposed to protect us, who are supposed to love us and cherish us, are the very ones who are taking our lives away. When you go to Congo, you see where, and just in Africa in general, where we tell a woman that you need to study, you need to work, you need to have money, you need to do this, you need to do that, you need to do, like, there are so many conditions that I need to fit before a man can see me valuable, which is very sad. Because so many girls, wherever they are, all they're saying is that, you know what, if I have an education, when I get in my home and I get married, that man is going to respect me. I mean, I shouldn't have an education for a human being to respect me. I shouldn't have money in my bank account. I shouldn't be riding cars for a human being to respect me. Respect me because I am a human being. Treat me well because of my humanity. You know, and if every person in the world walked with that in their head to say that when I meet a human being, this is God standing before me, I think would all respect each other so much, would all treat each other very well. So I think that is one thing that I've seen going everywhere I've gone. Unfortunately, as much as I talk about it, where I am as well, I'm building myself. I'm like, okay, you know what? This is the society we live in. And sometimes even myself, I fall into that trap of saying that my worth comes from that, which is very dangerous and a very sad reality that we're living in, that we are being told that our worth comes from that. And so our men have that in their head these days, you know, I want a girl who's going to be the same level as me, and which is great, okay, if you have such, but I think look for her value elsewhere. Her value is not in what she has accomplished, what she's not accomplished, what family she comes from, I don't know what language she talks. That's not where her value is found. She is much more worthy than that. And that goes to us as women as well. We are much more worthy than that. Because then in the end, all you are doing is bragging on what you've accomplished. And what you have accomplished is not who you are, does not bring you the value that you think you need. So I would say that that is one thing that has come up a lot. And the other thing that has come up a lot as well for me would be to see how we all, one way or another, talk about women abuse. There's always that women abuse theme. I've seen it in every country, including where I am right now. So there's a huge cry for me, just to summarize everything, where women are not respected and women are not valued. And I think that's why you see so many big movements where women come and say women equality. I don't think people understand what we mean when we say women equality. What we're trying to say is, see me and value the purpose in me. When I go and hustle, respect that, because I respect your hustle. I'm not saying that I want to take your throne. I don't want to take your throne. I don't want to be a king. I was made a queen. I love being a queen because it comes with other big responsibilities. It comes with other big perks. I don't want to be a king. I want to be a queen, but I need that king to respect the fact that I am a queen. I need that king to respect the fact that as a queen, I come with wisdom, I come with purpose, I come with what perseverance, and there's so much more that comes with me. And when you have the right person with you who says, you know what, I see that queen and I'm going to support her purpose rather than shut it down, you know, I'm going to help her move forward rather than put stumbling blocks in her way, because that's what we have these days, you know. So I would say that there's a big cry for me, is just the respect, the value, people cherishing women is what lacks in everywhere I've gone, you know. I know that in the olden days, though we did have some of this happening, but I know that a woman used to be treated as an egg. You know, the very ground in which she walked in was cherished. And these days you don't see that. You know, a woman could be struggling in the street, and then so many guys would pass, and so many other, you know, and you'd see another girl who comes, oh my goodness, let me help you. And you're like, oh wow, I had so many guys who passed, you know. It's just like, whatever, you know. So I would say we need to start valuing women more. And we're not saying value us and worship us. We're not saying value us and we're better than you. We're just saying value us, respect us. And in turn, I think we can better live together in this world.
And also, like what you have also touched, Rosie, is the fact that, like, you've touched abuse in all 3 countries that you've been to. And it goes to shows that it's just more than how we as women are supposed to be. Because it's like, you are supposed to be like this. And when we are like that, still not enough. We still get abused. Yes, do the it's not gonna be enough, you know. It's like this cycle that goes and goes and goes, and it's like it goes even amongst us as women, you know. Let me not touch on men, let me not touch on abuse, but
Yes.
they touching like touching that topic, you know. But also it goes amongst us,
Yeah.
like as women, how we treat each other, you know. And also saying falling into the trap of we define ourselves, but what we do, you know, like our achievement, what we have accomplished, and all those things. But I feel like amongst us women, there's this selective, you know, woman empowerment, and I
Mm-hmm.
think it's so taboo. We don't talk
Yeah.
about it. So taboo. We don't talk about it. You know, there's this selective support amongst us women. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I want to support you if you earn 10K. I'm only going to support you if you are an
Mm-hmm.
influencer. I'm only going to support you because no, you're only my friend. You know, when
Yes.
we women empowerment, we mean empowering each and every woman, you know. And
Mm-hmm.
we're not only going to empower women just because, you know, they have accomplished something, they're lawyers, they're teachers, they're beauty queens, you know, Miss South Africa, anything that you can mention, you know. There are women who choose that I want to be a housewife, you know, and
Mm-hmm.
it's okay, you know.
Yeah.
There are women who wants to choose that, you know what, I'm just going to live my life being in a circle. I'm just gonna be a
Mm-hmm.
teacher and it's okay, you know. And we feel like we have to look down on them. You know, we feel like we have to look down on them. They're not women enough. We're not gonna empower them. You know, we can choose
Mm-hmm.
how we want, like, and not all women love heels. Not all women love makeup. You know, I
Yeah.
feel like we should also just let women be. You know, let women
Mm-hmm.
be, stop judging each other as women. But when we say women empowerment and when we say we need to support each other, we really need to support each other. You know,
Yes.
we can't just
Yes.
look and say, Rosie, you know, is Miss America, so I'm just going to support her. But also empower each and every one of us. You know, I'm not saying now, hey, just draw deep, now post, do that, but show another woman that I recognize you, I see you, and I,
Mm-hmm.
you know, you
Mm-hmm.
don't have to say a lot, you don't have to do much, but show
Yes.
them that I support you. And
Mm-hmm.
also, you touching on things like, um, don't look at me for what I do, but look at me as a human being. You know, before we are women, we are human. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like it's very important for each and every one of us to look at each other as human before
Yeah.
we are. But also, men need to cherish us. They need to respect us, and
Yeah.
also we need to also respect ourselves. So thank you so
Mm-hmm.
much for touching in that. And you have had the privilege to go to these countries and just because you're not an ignorant person, you have answered that so well, and I'm learning.
I hope so.
I'm learning. I'm learning, and I hope everyone is also learning.
I
Yeah. Did
hope
you want to
so.
say something?
I just wanted to add on to what you were saying actually was that once I was working with these politicians in South Africa and they told me that they had elections going on. So when they had those elections amongst themselves, there was a woman there. It's not that there's no space for women, like they said. They said there's space for women, but they knew as men that they would outpass the women because they know that women never support each other. And I was like, whoa. And he said it's flat out. He said, as men, all of us who were running for office knew all of us would make it because when a woman wants to be great, it's another woman who brings her down. It's not you're not gonna
True.
see the first person who's gonna bring her down is gonna be another woman who has
Mhm.
envy in her heart, who says, I wish I was her. She's not gonna make it, because I haven't made it.
Yeah.
And so she
Yeah.
decides immediately you're not going to make it. But with men, what you see is another man coming in and saying, yeah, let's go for it, let me support you. I have that friend and I know
Yeah.
this person and I know that person. So
Mhm.
I think that just shows that it's not only us women who see it, men know it too, and they use it to
Yes.
their
Everybody,
advantage to make it in,
everybody
in
does.
that sector.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody
So
does, and we're just not ready
mhm,
to talk about it.
that's
Everybody does.
true.
Like we can
Yeah.
all say it. Yeah, we are selective on who we want to support.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if we pageant, then I'm gonna support her. You know, if
Mm-hmm.
then I'm gonna support her. And we have this sickness. I don't know what I can call it, but we have this thing that we only want to be the only ones. You know, you
Yes.
only want to be the only woman in that room. You only
Mm-hmm.
want to be the only uh the only first black
Yes.
president woman or the only woman Correct, the only, So we need to support each other as women and not be selective. When we say women empowerment, when we say women upliftment, we mean women upliftment. We don't mean rosy upliftment or pageant queen upliftment. So thank you so much for touching on that. And in relationships, yes, in relationships, this is just a bonus question. How do you think women should be labeled in romantic relationships?
Well, I'm a Christian, so when you have to ask relationship, I would fall back on the Bible. I think the Bible touches relationships so beautifully. Jesus shows us how a woman is to be treated, is to be loved. We see the church as his bride. But I would say this, in the Bible, it says that women respect your husband and husbands love your wife. And I think in the world these days, when we talk about love, we talk about the feelings that we have in our time, the butterflies, and I feel like this, so I must love him. We don't realize that love is an action word. Love is an action word. Let me just see here. When you come to First Corinthians, it says that love is patient, love is kind, love does not envy, it does not boast, it is not proud, it is not rude, it is not self-seeking, it is not easily angered, it keeps no record of wrong. So sometimes I think when we read that part, you just say, oh, love is this, love is that. But now when you change it, you say, let's say, for example, I am a man and you're the woman I'm supposed to love. Then I say, me, if I love Pearl, then I'm supposed to be patient with Pearl. Because I love Pearl, I am not supposed to be envious of her. I'm not supposed to be boastful of what I have done in her life. Probably I've had an opportunity to help Pearl, but I will not be boastful of that, remembering that what I have comes from the Lord. It is not mine in the first place. You see here, it says that it keeps no record of wrong. So when it touches on it keeps no record of wrong, that's to tell you that there will be wrong. There will be times that I'm not perfect, you're not perfect. There will be times where we will fall out, we will argue, but I will keep no record of that because I love Pearl. I will be kind towards her because I love her. I'll be nurturing because I love her. So I believe that love covers so much. It covers the magnitude of sin, so to say. It helps us kind of be blind to the imperfections of another. And so that's why I would say that women should be treated with love. Once you have that love in your heart towards that woman, yourself, if you say you love your mom or you love your siblings, you know how you treat them. Or if you say that you love yourself, in the Bible, it says that men treat your woman the way you treat yourself. So if you go and buy yourself a shoe, then think, hey, this is not just me. I have a woman, so I should also buy her a shoe. I think if we had to see it like that, it would take out so many things where we come in and say women are materialistic and all of that. And some people go as far as saying she's a gold digger. And sometimes I'm looking at them like, what gold do you have? You don't even have that big of a mind for me to start digging. But anyways, but I think that's where all these things come in, because we do not understand what love is. Sacrifice. Love is sacrifice. And when you're in a relationship, you will realize that you always have to sacrifice something. You always have to compromise on something. And as we touch on that, I would just like to say as well that does not give us as women a leeway to abuse or to degrade the man who so humbly serves us. Because in a relationship, we serve each other. It's not a woman coming to serve you alone. Man, you also meant to serve me. So we serve each other in this relationship. We help each other in this relationship. We become partners in this relationship. And humility will help us know how to love each other even better.
And can I also add on that and say, I feel like I also want to touch on the nature of, women and men, in my experience, and also seeing, good relationships around me, especially older people. Yeah. What I have seen is that when men serve their women, and when they love their women, and when they respect their women and just support their women and cherish their women, like it's easy for a woman to just make you a king that you are, It's easy for you to pour her heart to you and just serve you as well. It's not like a relationship is not based only on us as women, but it's a two-way thing. The two-way thing, yeah. And also, I also feel like in relationships, it's not only just a man looking at you and saying, okay, she's a woman, but also a human being. The
Mm.
woman and human thing. I feel like we constantly have to, talk
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah.
Build a with your partner. I
Mm.
feel like also helps you, and just it comes naturally seeing your man as a man, and also it comes natural as your man sees you as
Mm-hmm.
your woman. So
Mm-hmm.
also I have the scripture that you have served us with today. So thank you so much for that. Um, I think we have two more questions now. So, how can women be celebrated in the world, in today's world, in your view?
In my view, okay. I would say today, I think so many times these days, when we celebrate this day, Women's Day, we forget why we celebrate it. These days,
Yeah.
this day has just become that day of, hey, you know what? Let's go out. I'm gonna buy you this, and I'm gonna put flowers, and we're gonna post it on Instagram, and we forget why we celebrate this day. This day is celebrated because so many years ago, in 1955. No, 1955 was the first time we celebrated
1956,
Women's Day.
1956,
19,
1956.
1956 was
Yeah.
we had women who looked like us, women who, our mothers, our grandmothers, our ancestors, to say, who decided that enough is enough with
Mm,
the injustice that we see in this country, and who
yeah.
decided to take a risk, risking their very
Mm,
own lives, and saying, we're going to march and we're going to show our solidarity. We're going to let our voices be heard when we say enough is enough and no is no. And they decided to, I remember when I used to learn this in school, and you just picture it, they went with babies, the babies that they were, most of them were nannies, and they carried white people's babies. So they were very
mm,
strategic. That's to show you that they were like, you know what? They're not going to shoot at us if we have white babies on our back. Because
true.
their children,
Yeah.
right? So
Wow.
even if they don't value us, don't value what we carry. And so
Mm,
they decided to use that as a way to protect their lives so that they wouldn't lose their life. Because the truth is that if you see Black people protesting or standing up for anything, you know that they're going to get shot at. You know lives are going to be lost. But when we look at that day, we barely hear of any life being lost because
mm.
a white
You
man
see
doesn't know
how
how to shoot
smart we
another man.
are. You see how
Yeah,
smart we are. Like we're so smart.
very
Like
smart.
there, we don't
Yeah,
have to
see?
reinforce it. It's given. Yeah, women are smart.
Yeah.
Women.
Women
Yeah,
are
we have
very
to
smart. They
just
were
see
very
that.
smart with that. They were very strategic. And
Mm,
they did not just go there to say, hey, we're just walking. They had a purpose. And that
yeah.
purpose came to pass. And so when we say today is Women's Day, I would hope that we remember why we celebrate today. That as
Yeah.
women, we remember why we have the right to vote, why I can walk in an office and be respected, why they
Mm,
can even talk about a woman and look to a woman for advice or for an opinion, is because we
mm,
had women who decided that today, whether or not I die, my voice will be heard. And so
yeah.
that should challenge us as women. And if we say we want to be celebrated, that we should have people around us who push us to say, whether or not you die, or um, whether or not this does not work out, go for it. Go for that dream. For
Mm,
those women at that point of time, it was protesting. But these days, it could be you in your studies. You can have that person who say, I celebrate you as a woman, and so go for it. I will support you in your studies. Maybe not financially,
mm,
but I'll be there. If you want to offload on the stress of school, if you need a study
mm,
partner, celebrate me like that.
yes.
Encourage my dreams like that and say, this is how I
Mm,
want to empower you. Because this day is all about empowerment. It's all about us looking, sorry, at our past and gaining
mm,
that strength from our history in order to move
mm,
forward. Because a country or a people that does not acknowledge its history, that disregards its history, is a perishing one. It's a lost one. We're supposed to be standing on the shoulders of this woman and feeling strong in
mm,
our very own lives, our very own purpose and calling, and saying, I will move forward because she had courage to do it before. And the other thing I would just highlight with that is that when you see in the world so many people that we talk about Winnie Mandela, we talk about Michelle Obama, I'm thinking of other women, Harriet Tubman, all these people that come up, this woman never rose up when things were rosy. When you
mm,
realize every time all these
mm,
women rose up and made a difference was in time of persecution, time of peril, time when nobody else was meant to stand up. So Women's Day is not just saying, hey, it's gonna be rosy, you're gonna lie down and be pampered. No, it's telling you that maybe you might be that voice that we need right now to go and stand up against this abuse that is happening on women. Maybe you might be that voice that would stand up against human trafficking. We're losing so many of our sisters like that. So it's to remember that as much as we want the petals, that roses also have thorns. And that's where you blossom the most. That's where we need you the most when times look uncertain. And so if you want to celebrate women, celebrate them by encouraging their dreams, by nurturing their dreams, by empowering them in that manner. And while we talk about that, I would just say that I think when I'm talking and mentioning all these big women, we see, I don't know, superhumans, but they were humans like us. Even in the Bible, when we read on Deborah, we read Esther, we read all these women, we see that one was an immigrant, one was a housewife, another was just a normal judge. And,
yeah.
and I think the housewife was the lady who killed the king that they were going after. So that's just to show you that we don't need you to have a platform of a million. We don't need you to be, I don't know, Michelle Obama, first lady to a president. But wherever you are meant to flourish. Wherever you are, as a woman, you are meant to have influence. As a woman, you are meant to give off wisdom, because a woman is wisdom. A woman builds. Wherever you are meant to build, not just yourself, not just your family, but those around you. Decide, I'm going to build love. I'm going to build a community that is safe, and look for ways and resources around you in order that that will help you achieve those goals that you have set for yourself. And a woman is nurturing, a woman is kind, a woman is soft. And as much as she's soft, a woman is so protective as well. So there's so many ways in which we can celebrate ourselves as women. And the other thing I would say, the biggest way to do it is to accept that you are a woman. Don't try to be that.
It flourishes. Yeah. And I also I thank you for also mentioning the importance of this day. You know, there's something that I posted on my Insta story. It says women are an inferior gender. I mean, look now, we have a public holiday just because we are women. You know, it was fun. But I also feel like we need to understand, you know, the importance of this day. I feel like we are a generation of privilege, you know. We are so privileged. But we only read about what has happened. You know, we read history. We didn't experience it, you know.
Yeah.
So we are very privileged because we just only read about it. You know, we don't experience it. That's where women upliftment comes from. That's where women empowerment comes from, because we have the resources, you know. We have it in us to do something to contribute to the world and make this world a better place, not only for us as women, but for children, for men as well, you know. But we are a superior, the inferior, superior. Yeah, because I mean,
we were made to be helpers.
Yeah, it's just like you don't have to force it or anything like that. Yeah.
Yes. So, and when you look at a helper, and just to put it maybe in an office stage, when you see as the CEO and he says, "This is my personal assistant," in truth, that personal assistant is always, for me, in my point of view, much more qualified than the CEO, because that personal assistant is usually the person who holds everything down. They're doing this, they're doing that, they're doing that, they're doing that, and we see the CEO, but we forget that there's that personal assistant who's actually been helping the CEO be that CEO. So that's
who does more work.
Yes, that's the same thing with the woman. I think so many times we forget that when they say you're going to be a helper, if somebody comes and tells you you're going to help, I don't know, the president, then you've got to have mad skills to help a president. So sometimes we see helpers and no. If you're going to be a helper, you could be that helper with those millions. You come and help a whole generation. You know, you can be that helper with your wisdom, with your new innovations. So look at the word a helper in a different way. You're meant to be a helper. You're a solution. You're a living solution. There's nothing you can do but be that solution. So I think sometimes we don't know who we are as women. We forget the very thing that lives within us, that has been given to us as women.
Love that. I really do love that. And I'm just gonna ask you this one last one, and then I'm gonna ask you to give a message or quotes or whatever for women for this day. So, well, okay, I'm just going to talk about myself first. Okay, well, what is this like about my life, you know?
Yeah.
For me, when it comes to also women empowerment, you know, do you think women upliftment and women empowerment, like I've mentioned before, that we should not be selective, you know? But
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's the negative side, you know? But there's also a positive side to it, you know? For me, I've always been passionate about women empowerment. I've always been passionate about women upliftment, you know? And I make sure that I practice that in my daily life, you know, with my mom, with my cousins, with my friends, you know. They'll tell you how we empower each other and how important it is, because I understand how important it is for us to empower each other. And I also know that when I win, another one also wins. You know, so for me,
Mm-hmm.
I decided, no, let me just step back a bit and not fight like before. Because for me, I feel like we are on the right track. You know,
Mm-hmm.
need to fix the women actually empowering each other and not being
Yeah.
selective, you know.
Yes.
But for me, I feel like we are really on the right track.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, getting into pageants, I can see that women are doing amazing things. You know,
Mm-hmm. That's very true.
we have so many women who just have these goals, you know, and
Mm-hmm.
they're doing something for their community. That time, their aunts, you know, their daughters, they have so many roles to play, you know. So for me, I feel like we are on the right track in terms of women empowerment and women upliftment, you know, because I've seen women like you doing so
Mm-hmm.
well. I've seen other women doing so well. I'm surrounded by women, so I see how women do well, you know. And other women, they don't have to be known, like you have mentioned. We don't need a bigger platform for us to do something or uplift each other. And I'm referring to my aunt, you know, they're
Mm-hmm.
so powerful, you know. They had to grow up to now be our parents, you know, in the
Mm-hmm.
house. They're doing so much. They go to work every day, you know, and we need to celebrate that, you know.
Yes.
Celebration is not only about, you know, appearing on social media and just having
Mm-hmm.
a lot of followers and say, okay, I Miss Gauteng Exclusive Top 10, you are Miss World America, you know. But celebration comes in small things. So for me, I feel like in terms of women empowerment, women upliftment, and just women doing so much, you know, getting in spaces that men thought we will never get into, you know,
Yeah.
like being in spaces where we were most undermined. I'm happy. I mean, look at what is this, America, who is your deputy president. She's a woman, right? You know,
Yes.
you see like such things. They're doing major things, and also women who don't do major things, but they're doing little things which add
Mm-hmm.
to make, you know, bigger things. So for me, I feel like in terms of women empowerment, in terms of women upliftment, in terms of women being powerhouses, we're on the right track. That's my
Mm-hmm.
opinion. What do you
Mm-hmm.
feel about that one?
Um, I would say we are on the right track, but we're lacking so much. I think there
Okay.
is much more that we can do. And the other
Mm-hmm.
thing I would say is that we need more people, more hands on deck, so to say. Um, we need men to join the movement.
Okay.
We need men to understand why we have this movement in the first place. I think sometimes they don't understand because that's the life they've lived. Like we say, culture and traditions are man-made laws that we pass on to each other, and so
Mm-hmm.
we have grown up and have been told that this is how society is to be. And now they see this society and they think everything's like, whoa, this is not what I know society to be. This is not what I know a woman to be. So we need men to understand, because what's the use of me having this power empowerment convention or live session, and then I speak to this woman, I empower her, but she goes back to her home where she's brought back down. Everything we just built on her gets
Yeah.
broken down because she goes back to a man who does not understand what we're trying to do. So I think as
Mm-hmm.
much as we're making progress, that we shouldn't make progress on our own. We need men to be there side by side with us because we live with these men. You know, we don't just live with these men, we have them as brothers. We ourselves probably will give birth to men as well. You know,
Yeah.
so we need them to understand why it is that we speak about women empowerment, why it is that we're talking about allowing a woman's voice to be heard. And once they understand that, we need them to also back us up. Because once they understand that, they'll see the importance of it. That they'll be like, you know what? Yes, go for it. Or I'm here. I have the resources. I can help out in this initiative. So I would say we are headed the right direction, but we shouldn't forget to include men in this. Otherwise, all we're doing is butting heads because we're not seeing eye to eye. Rather, a man seeing as though we're challenging them. We're not communicating properly. And in any relationship, in society, we need that good communication. We need to talk, and we need to make sure that he hears, but that he also talks back, so that we have that good understanding and saying, this is what we're saying. And so just join on board. And so if we can get men on board, I think that will make what we're trying to achieve much more easier, because we won't have so much resistance in our communities. Because I think I'm thinking of the young girl who passed away last year, by her boyfriend. I forgot her name, but I see her face. She was murdered by her husband in his apartment in Stanton, if I'm not mistaken. And she was into empowerment and all of that. And you see such a beautiful, strong young girl who is doing exactly what you and I are doing right now, but unfortunately who had a man who did not understand the vision that she had, the dream that she had in her mind. And so that is just a good example of, I can be empowered, but I'm going back to these men who do not understand why I want to be empowered, why all of this is being put inside of me, who probably think that I shouldn't be empowered, who think that I have pride in me because I'm empowered. And so for them, it's like, you have to humble her, break that pride down. And so we need men on deck, and that requires men educating them on what it is we're trying to achieve and why it is we want to achieve that. If we have them on board, I think what we're trying to achieve for women will be quicker and easier. Yeah.
Sure, I didn't see it in that light at all. Like for me, it's like I'm surrounded by women and I'm seeing the progress, and I feel like, you know what, it's fine. Like we can do this without men. I've always had that in my mind that, you know what, we can always do it without men. But I understand why you want men to be involved, because here we are, we're doing this live with you, and then after this, I'm gonna talk to let's say my boyfriend, and what if he brings me down, or maybe you go, maybe like you meet your father who just, discourages you and just doesn't uplift you. It doesn't matter anymore, but like you being empowered now, it's only for this moment. And then after that,
you need
nothing,
that community that keeps that empowerment in you, that helps you maintain what you've gotten. So yeah.
So we have changed our perspective and we are on the right track. But we also need men to also change that perspective and also understand that we are not in competition with them.
We're not.
This is hard. And for you need to question, why don't we have men's day or men's month or men's celebration, because for them they've always been celebrated, they've always been like on the top, they've always had the upper hand. So they also need to understand that, and they also need to understand why we have, this day, and why it's also important to uplift their girlfriends, why it's also important to uplift their mothers, their sisters, their wives. So wow, like I've learned something, and thank you so much for that one. And please name 2 women that empower you or you look up to, or say, okay, these are my role models. I think we're about to end now.
2 women. I'm actually looking at them right now. I have I would say the first one is Queen Rania. She's the queen of Jordan. And why I love her is because I love her and her husband. Just because I think when you see a woman flourish who's married, then she has a good husband. Husband who has allowed her to flourish. Husband who's watered and planted, made sure that he nurtured the very dream she has and the passion she has. So I love what that family stands for, what they do in their country. They work a lot with immigration. They're such a small country, but they host the biggest number of immigrants in their country. So I just love to see what they do. And I love to see women redefine what it means to being a woman. She's a queen, yes, but she works. She's a queen, but she's an active mother in her children's lives. So I love to see that. And another woman that I would say, oh, I look up to in a way would be Harriet Tubman. And why I touch on Harriet Tubman? Because there's a lot more, but I would touch on Harriet Tubman because she gives me strength. I think the very times that we're walking in right now are very uncertain times. Nothing's really making sense. And sometimes that can put you back in your shell because you're afraid. But I see a woman who decided to stand up despite knowing that she might be killed for standing up.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can. I think we got stuck. Okay. But could you hear me or not?
Yeah. No, I couldn't hear you.
Oh, okay. Okay, so we're back, guys. Sorry for that.
You talked about Harriet, yes, you talked about Harriet, yeah, and you
And
said
just
she
because
empowered you. Yeah.
she empowers me and she gives me strength to know that I can also stand up right now in face of adversity, and a woman is capable to do it. You can do it. You just need to dream. I think so many people these days, all these people that I look up to, it took a dream of saying, this is the world I dream of. This is the reality I yearn to see. And they went after that, no matter who said what. And most of them even risking their very own lives, their very own personality and livelihood. And that's Harriet Tubman for me. And if a woman can do that, if she can do that, I don't know how she felt, running and knowing that they can shoot you or they can torture
Yeah.
you, they can hang you. But I'm gonna do it. Oh, it makes me look at my own.
The one, is it the one who travels, I don't know, like seas and whatever, just to save like a community or something? I feel like they have a
Yes, the
movie
same.
or something. Oh
Yes.
yeah, I saw those videos, really posting about it or something. Oh, that is so empowering.
Mm,
Because
that's
we think
definitely her.
only men can do that. You think only men can do that, And for the fact that it's a reality, somebody has done that.
Yes.
Phew, wow.
A
Mm,
woman can be that strong, can be that
mm,
fearless, can be that fierce. Oh man.
yeah,
So when I look at my own dreams and sometimes you're like, oh, I can't do that, or I can't speak up. You're like, wait,
yeah.
other woman did. This person did that and she knew she would die. You're probably not gonna die for speaking up. So why are you holding back? Why are you afraid to go after
I
that
feel
dream?
like we also need to understand that we have the power. We need to understand our
Yeah.
power so that we can step into our power. Because during this
Mm-hmm.
life, it was so scary. It was exciting, yes, but it took so much guts because I've been in the shell for
Mm-hmm.
now, but it took so much guts. So if we can understand our power, if we can understand the things that we want and just have hopes and dreams and goals and understand that they can be achievable if we can believe in our power and just going after it. I saw Nomza Mambata posting and saying, you do it scared anyway, you do it scared,
Mm-hmm.
do it overwhelmed, you do it scared, sad, you do it, because life goes
Yeah.
on, life goes on. So if we can understand our power, I think stepping into it is just gonna be easy for us. So thank
Mm-hmm.
you so much, Rosie. I see people have left their comments.
Oh,
I've
thank
seen
you
both
guys so much.
Rosie, Poke, yeah,
Oh,
Neo, all the
yeah,
ladies we Miss Miss
shout out to
Gauteng
you
Exclusive,
guys.
my friends, and everybody's like, thank you so much. And I can see that there's another girl who commented and said, is it Botilo Rakuma? Botilo Rakumakwe. Yes. Go go Rosie.
Thank
That
you
was so
guys so much. Thank you
empowering.
for this platform. I've
Ooh.
loved to see the growth in you. I know
Mm.
that, sometimes when we talk, I usually tell you that, but when we met, I think you were the youngest girl in our
Oh,
pageant
I
group.
was the youngest, crazy.
But nobody would know because you have such
Mm.
wisdom in you and you carry such grace with you that you were able to match up to people who are probably older than you and much more mature than you. But because you had that dream and you had that vision, you said, I will step up to the plate. You blended very well. And now to see you use your platform, your Instagram pages all the time, having live sessions where you tackle certain conversations that people probably do it only in their rooms, but you want to make it public. You want the whole world to know about it. I just love to see that growth, that strength, and you using your platform in this way. And so I can't wait to see even the bigger things you'll do. I can't wait to see you go to Miss SA, like I always tell you. And
Okay, don't give me hope, man.
I can't wait to see you go there.
Thank you.
But I
Thank you so
really,
much.
I really believe in you, and I love to see you just flourish like this. So thank you so much for this platform.
Thank you so much. You also empower me, Rosie. Like you always uplift me. I remember in 2019, I was at my lowest. Life seemed meaningless, and you were there. You were empowering me. You said, "You know what? You can do it. You can do it." You just didn't know that I was on my lowest. So God sent an angel. We go to Pearl and talk to Pearl, so that we can uplift her and empower her. And you've always been that woman. And just seeing you taking each and every opportunity given to you, kicking doors, going back to Congo, building a school. Oh, by the way, please leave the link, type the link so that people can, yeah. But it's also under your
My
profile,
bio.
right?
Yes.
Yeah, like it's in her bio. So if you want to donate, so what can people donate? Is it only like money or maybe books?
I would say that if you, whatever you feel like donating, I mean, sometimes maybe you don't have money, but you have an idea that we can work on, or an organization we can contact, or you have a person you think can help us, or anything you feel like you want to give to us, we're more than happy to have that. Nothing specific we're asking for. Yes. Though the money would be helpful, but I think sometimes maybe you don't have money, but you have resources. Thank you for that.
Yes.
Or your prayers, or you want to help us advertise it because you know so many people, then that's another way to help us too.
Okay. Thank you so much. Oh, before we leave, please leave a quote, message or whatever for women. And also, what are you going to do for the rest of the day? Because you wake up at 5 a.m. just to talk to me. I feel so important. I feel so important. Just to
you are important. Just to throw it in there.
Thank you.
But how do we summarize this whole live session? I think we've said a lot. One thing I would say is dream. And when you dream, don't just leave it as a dream. Don't just leave it in that closet that only you can see. Dream it and go after it and make sure that the whole world sees what it is that you've been dreaming of. Like I said, so many of the heroes that we look up to were people with dreams, but they didn't let those dreams just remain imaginations and pictures that fill their brain. They made sure that we saw those dreams, that we live in their dreams. Some people dreamt of freedom, and these days we walk in freedom because they dreamt of it. So as a woman, do not allow anyone to stop your dream, to cover your vision. Have that dream and have that vision, but don't stay there. Go after it. And the going after it part is where I would say have a goal. Don't have an unrealistic goal. Have a real goal. Like in school, they would teach us have a real goal, realistic, attainable, time constraint, and have a real goal. I have a vision board, and I'm looking at it right now. I have a vision board, and I put down what I see myself, what I want to do with my life. So I took magazines and cut out pictures, cut out words that stood out to me and stood out to what I see myself as in the future and now. And so I put them all together and I said, this is who you are. This is where you're headed. And so sometimes there are days where I really feel like, you know what, let's just stop here. And then I come back in the room and I see it looking at me and I, whoa, okay, we're going to do it. This is where you said you're going. Yeah. This is who you said you are. And then there are other days where I look at those dreams and I'm like, whoa, this is too big. What were you thinking of when you had these big dreams? But when I talk about the vision board, it helps you kind of have that vision all the time. But now write it down as a goal. Write down and say, okay, you know what? I want to open a business. That was my dream. And I wrote it down when I started the year, actually, that I want to have a business before the end of this year. And so I
But
asked myself, and
yeah.
I have one right now, but I had to ask myself, so what do you need to do to have a business? And so, okay,
Yeah.
I needed to be registered. I need to have capital. And so I wrote everything down and I said, okay, so what about registration do you need to know? So you go and research on that and say, okay, I need to do this, I need to do that, then it will be registered. How much capital do you need? When I know how much capital I need, I know how to save for that capital. Rather than complaining and saying, I don't have the money, I can save 10 rands a day. And I know that by the end of the year, I'll have this amount of money. It will help me gain my business. So for me, it was literally, I didn't do my hair I don't do my hair going to the salon and everything for a long time because I knew I was saving for a certain purpose. So my cousin usually does my hair. On Sundays, we'll look for a way, get my hair done. I limited so much of my spending, going out, eating out, all of that limited because I said, this is your goal. This is where you hit it. This is how much you need. And so I cut out everything I didn't need, saved up that money. And then I said, I have the capital for my business. Okay, what is the purpose of your business? Where are you headed? What do you want to do? So that's how you start looking for the right people around you. Because you're saying, I need this kind of people around me to make sure that this business flourishes and this business grows. So when you have those goals down, it can be long term, it can be short term. You can say, I want to pass my exams at the end of the year. Sit down, write it down, and say, how are you going to pass your exams? Maybe I should read one book every week, one textbook every week. You know, and you say, okay, fine, this week it's this textbook, next week it's that textbook. Before you know it, by the end of the year, you've kind of finished everything because you were able to strategically set your goals out and lay it all out and make sure that it's attainable and that you achieve it at the time constraints you had for yourself. So be wise. Don't just dream and stay in that unrealistic world of la la land, you know, and people are just, oh my goodness, she's just a dreamer. No. Make sure that you're strategic in your dreaming and that you write everything down and that you know how to achieve those goals and go for it. Because it is achievable, it is attainable, comes with pain for sure, but you can definitely attain it. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, like I feel bad. Yo, I feel so bad. I used my savings to buy food, né? But it's fine, it's fine. But also just like adding to that, like you're so determined, you're so focused, and I feel like for every successful person, they'll tell you that compromise, discipline, hard work, and they don't just say those words; they mean them because they know they did all of those things to success in whatever that they wanted to do. And also adding that and encouraging women is just like be the kind of woman that you want to be, flourish in that kind of woman. If you are you're a woman who loves boys clothes, flourish into that and just better yourself. So like work hard to better yourself and become, the best version of yourself. Just work on yourself to be the best person that you can be to the people around you, all around your community, and just be the kind of woman that you want to be. Don't let your mother tell you, don't let your classmates tell you, don't let me tell you or Rosie tell you, but just be the kind of woman that you choose to be. And it's okay. It's okay. You are enough. And what you want is enough. And no goal is small, no goal is big. If for you, it means, like you said, that passing your exam, that's a goal. That's a goal.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's for me, it's just, making everyone around me happy. That's a goal. Just be that kind of a person that you want to be and that kind of a woman that you want to be. And also let's continue uplifting each other and supporting each other and just loving one another. And I wish you well in especially your school, just wow. And your business as well, and just law school, and just you're doing so many things, Rosie, and so inspiring, and just I don't know what to say anymore. But thank you so much for joining my life and waking up this early just to talk to me. I know it's early that time. So what are you planning to do for the rest of the day?
So for the rest of the day, currently, when we finish our live, I am going to get ready for work. So I'm going to take everything out and be that simple me. I'm going to work, and then I'm going for some exercise after work, and then I'll be back home, working on a new marketing plan on how we can try to get some sales for the shirt that we're talking about.
Mhm.
So that's basically what I have for today. Nothing Hectic. Hectic, but nothing hectic.
Okay. Thank you
Yeah.
so much. You
No,
just like
thank
you
you
don't
so
have
much
to
for
make
having me today. I know you guys have a public holiday, so how are you guys celebrating?
yeah, you
Yeah.
yo, not like nothing much. My friend is here. She just came back from home. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna spend so much time with her because I missed her so much. And
Yes.
just study because I have contact classes tomorrow. So yeah, that's
Oh.
me. That's how I'm celebrating my day. And also
Mm-hmm.
eat. So thank you so much, Rosie. Thank you for having me. And yeah, we'll just talk. And thank you for to everyone who's been like supporting us and just
Yeah.
believing in us and also
I do
joining
too.
our life.
Did
I believe
work.
I came
Yes.
as this life for a reason. This is the motivation that I needed.
Oh,
Girl,
thank you.
girl. Thank you, Nell. Bye bye, Rosie. Thank you so much,
Bye,
Ne.
everyone. Thank you so
Okay,
much, guys.
I will save this, Ne. I will save this.
Okay.
Okay. Bye bye. Thank
All right.
you.
Thank you.
How do I end this?
I think you go on end live, right? How did you end it the first time?
Oh, okay, okay. Thank
So,
you. Bye bye.
all right. Bye.